Okay, hello boys and girls. I'd just like to make a short video for all of the boys and girls coming over to third class in Scoil, Naofa in September. I was in touch with a lot of your parents and I hear that many of you are very excited about starting with us here in Scoil, which is wonderful to hear. But also I've heard that many of you are slightly nervous about starting here in the school and maybe a little bit worried about coming over to the senior school in September, and that is perfectly understandable as well. So I just want to make a very short video here for you this morning where I'm going to explain, I suppose, how the school is going to be in September. I might show you one of the classrooms and explain to you how you're going to come in the morning and how the day is going to be. Okay, so if you look around here at the moment, we're in the main entrance area to the school, and you see a lovely mat here on the floor where it's reminding all of the boys and girls to keep our distance as best we can here in the school when we start back. And that's obviously because of the COVID-19, the coronavirus that's happening at the minute, okay? And if you see around you, we have all of these areas here where we can clean our hands on our way in the door. And you might notice on the wall over here where you have a hand sanitizer, there'll be one of those in every classroom in the school, and your teacher will be reminding you to clean your hands throughout the day. Okay, so we're going to have a little look over here, boys and girls, and we're going to look at this wall in the school. So in Scoil, we like to remember 5 very important words. And we feel that if we follow these 5 words, that our time here in Scoil will be a great experience. So the first word we look at is kindness. And we make sure in Scoil Naofa that we are kind to everybody. Teachers are kind to the children are kind to teachers and to each other. We then have another very important word. We have respect, where we all respect each other in the school. We have honesty, where we always tell the truth. We have diligence, where we do our very best in our work. And then I think the most important word at the bottom here is that we are happy. Happiness, that we are happy here in the school. And as long as we are happy, we're going to have a great experience in the school. But look, we very much understand that we're not always happy in school. And your teachers are here, and I'm here, and the Deputy Principal, Mr. O'Sullivan, is here to help you and to talk to you throughout that time here. Another thing before we move on is another very important thing about Scoil is in the school here in Scoil, we have children coming from so many different backgrounds, and they bring so many different languages to our school, and they bring so many different cultures to our school. And we are so proud of that. So we are so proud of all of the children who come from different backgrounds. Maybe mom or dad or granny or granddad come from a different country, and we really celebrate that here in the school. And I am so looking forward to hearing all of those stories from the new boys and girls coming over to us from St. Thomas's in September. So before I move on, I'm just going to say to you, when you're coming into school now in the morning, it is so important that you clean your hands on the way in. A little later I'm going to show you where you're going to be lining up and how you're going to come into the school. But before I do that, we're going to take a little walk down the corridor, because when I normally bring the children from St. Thomas's over to us in June when they're in 2nd class, I always bring them for a little tour around the school. So I'm going to bring you on a virtual tour now down the corridor, and I'm going to show you our courtyard that you will have time to play in and to do activities in, and I'm going to show you one of the corridors that we got a sensory path put into there before the school closed in March. Okay, so I'll see you in a few seconds. Now boys and girls, this is one of our corridors here in Scoil, and when you start here in September, a change we've had to make to the school is we are going to have a one-way system in the school, which means everybody in the school will have to walk in this direction around the building. When you come in September, there will be a few additions to the floor. You will see some arrows on the floor reminding you of that one-way system. And you might notice here we have little reminders around the school about keeping 1 metre apart and, if possible, 2 metres apart from each other. So I want you to see this. This is something that we really love here in the school, and all the boys and girls from 3rd up until 6th class love this. It's our sensory path. And if you walk along with me, you see all the different activities on it. So you can jump here, jump and twist, it says here. You have letters, you can find the letters in your name. You can move along the path and you can do some hopscotch. And again, there's more letters. So when you're finished this path, you can go and you can, along the way, you can maybe try and spell out your name. You have the frog jump, where you get down on your hands and your knees and you jump like a frog around the bend here. And then you come around the corner and we have our log path. And we try and balance on the log, we spin around, we balance on the log, and we keep going up until the corner. If you're feeling a little bit tired, You can do some wall push-ups here against the wall. And just to put everybody at ease, and all the parents as well, these walls and these push-ups will be sanitized all throughout the day. We'll keep walking around. You see the crab walk here. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate, but I'm sure some of you will gladly demonstrate when you start in September. We do our crab walk and then we walk the line. You can choose one of the lines to walk on and you go down the corridor and then you come to your bear walk where you finish. Okay, and then you might take another little break and you can do the focus game here, okay, where you can keep your finger on the line. Again, these will be sanitized all throughout the day. Okay, so what we're going to do now, boys and girls, we're going to look out the window here. I know you mightn't be able to see it as well as when you're in the school, but we have our courtyard here. And throughout the year, your teacher will bring you out to the courtyard, and if you see the benches in the corner, you might notice there's a lock on the benches. In those benches, we have a lot of different equipment, toys and games with archery sets and all of that. And your teacher will bring you out, maybe in small groups this year, and you can have a little game out in the courtyard. Again, all of the equipment, as I was saying, will be sanitized before and after every use. So what we're going to do now, boys and girls, we're going to move along, and I'm going to show you one of the classrooms. I'm going to bring you into room 8, and the teacher in room 8 will be Miss Dempsey. So those of you who will have Miss Dempsey as your teacher next year, this is your classroom. I can't bring you into the other classrooms, unfortunately, because we are still working on getting those classrooms set up for social distancing and the rest. But I'm going to bring you into room 8 now, and we'll have a little look and have a chat about how we're going to work through it today. Thank you. Okay, boys and girls, we are now in room 8, which will be Miss Dempsey's classroom when we come to school in September. But all of our third classes will look like this. I'm going to show you around the room first of all, so I want you to look over here at the wall. And before I start telling you about the room, just to remind parents, I suppose, there's a little bit more work to be done in this classroom before the children start back. But we have our new interactive whiteboard up in the wall here. We have full touchscreen whiteboard. It's like a giant iPad, and the children will be able to use that throughout the day. Again, it will be sanitized, and the teacher will be able to sanitize it after every single use, so it's perfectly safe. So if you look around the classroom, as you might have heard, I'm sure your moms and your dads or whoever is minding you home will know about this, but we have to keep our distance as much as we can in school. And what we have been asked to do by the Irish government, by the Department of Education, is to bring all of the children back to school together. So there will be 30 children in this class, which is difficult to get everybody back in at the same time. But what we were told to do, and what we have managed to do, is to create 5 pods in our classroom. So we have pod 1, pod 2, pod 3, pod 4, and pod 5. And on those pods will be 6 children to the pod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and each pod will have to be at least 1 meter apart. So 1 meter between pods in every direction, okay? And what that means, boys and girls, is that when you're in school, you can only work with the children at your table. Now you'll be sitting near them, you won't need to sit a meter apart from them because unfortunately it's not possible here in the building, but you will be working with these children only. You will not be able to move over to maybe somebody you know at this table or at this table or that table. You will have to work with these children. Teacher can change those groups then maybe at the midterm break when we're off for a week. But up until the Halloween midterm break, you will have to work with only those children, okay? And that doesn't mean you can't walk around the classroom, you need to go to the bathroom or to go to the teacher, okay? But that's how it will have to work. Now, the one difference you will notice is that your teacher will be wearing one of either 2 things. Your teacher will be either wearing a mask, which I'm sure you've noticed a lot of people wearing in the shops, or a visor, the shield, or your teacher might wear both. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. One thing, and I suppose this is more of a message for the moms and dads with your mind at ease, is that when every child comes back to us in September, they will be given a little cloth, a microfiber cloth. So all the boys and girls will have a little yellow cloth on their desk. And the teacher is going to give a little spray of that cloth in the morning. The cloth will soak up the spray, and your children can sanitize their desk throughout the day when the teacher reminds them or when they want to do it themselves. So that's how the day is going to work. Besides that, boys and girls, your teacher is still going to be working with you like they always do. Your teacher will be here to help you, will come down to you if you need help. May not spend as long beside you working with you, but your teacher will come down to work with you and to help you. There will be work going on the boards up behind the teacher up there, and you'll still be doing all of the fun activities that you did in St. Thomas's. But the classroom, we have to be very, very careful, and we have to remember that we have to stay in our own little pod, okay? And if you're worried about anything, if you have any questions, ask your teacher, ask me, or ask Mr. O'Sullivan anytime you like, because we don't want anybody to be worried in school. You don't need to worry about sitting close to the children on your pod. You're allowed to sit with them, that's why it's there, but you just cannot mix with the children on the other pod. However, when we go out to the yard, the entire class will be together in the yard. You'll be able to run around and play with all your friends in your class. We're going to go out to the yard now and have a little look at how that's going to work. Okay, boys and girls, we're outside now on the top yard of the school, and this is where you're going to be lining up in the morning. So unlike previous years, where all of the classes will come into school at 9 o'clock and line up, you will be coming in only with the other third classes. So we're going to have different start times, and your class will be starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so it's the same as when you're in St. Thomas's. Our third classes will be starting at 9 a.m. So with your parents, you'll have 10 minutes to come in here between 10 to 9 and 9 a.m. And when you come in, you'll see here there's lines in the yard. We will have numbers, or we will designate an area for each class. And when you come in on the first morning, you won't know where to go, and that's absolutely fine. I will be out here, as will Mr. O'Sullivan. You'll notice that you'll see the two of us. Come up to us and ask us where you're supposed to stand, and we will tell you. On the first morning, you will just get into your line. Each line will be 2 meters apart. You get into your line with your full class. You don't have to worry about your pods or anything like that I was speaking about earlier. Get into your line, and then teacher will come out and walk you into the school in a safe manner. It's very important this year that only one class at a time walks in, because we don't want 2 classes going in the doors together. As soon as you go in the door, you go in this door, it's around the corner down there, your teacher will show you. As soon as you go in the door, there'll be a hand sanitizer station on each wall, and you very quickly, you press the button, soap or sanitizer will come out, and you give your hands a wash. If you don't feel like you've done it properly, you'll have another opportunity when you get into your classroom, okay? But when you come down to the school on the first morning, your mom or your dad will not be able to come up here or wait with you. On the first morning, they can walk you up, that's fine, and ask myself if you're a little bit nervous. They can ask myself or Mr. Sullivan where you're supposed to stand. But after that then, unfortunately, the moms and dads will have to just leave you to come up to the line on your own, okay? When you get into school on the first day, your teacher then will explain to you how the lines are going to work throughout the year with the pods and all of that kind of thing. It's a very, very easy system. The one message, the very important message I want to give all the boys and girls is, if you make a little mistake or if you forget how the system works, that's no problem at all. Just ask again. Even if you have to ask every single day how it works, we will answer you every single day. There's no problem. We don't want anybody to be worried coming into school on the first day. We want you all to be excited and looking forward to a big, big start in Scoil, Naofa. So the yard, as you see, is a very big yard, and you'll be lining up. We don't know exactly how our break times are going to work, but you will have your break time with all of the third classes. There'll be an area, more than likely, there'll be an area set aside on the yard for your class only, and you'll have to stay within that area. But the good news, boys and girls, is that you will be able to run on the yard, once you're being very, very careful. But you will be able to run on the yard. But we'll be able to explain a bit more to you about that when you start here with us in a few weeks' time. Okay? And I am so much looking forward to seeing you all in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Slán go fóill.